There's a kind of betrayal that doesn't scream. It whispers. It hides in phone calls that stop coming, in invitations that never arrive, and in the quiet realization that the people you sacrificed everything for are now embarrassed by the size of your shadow. Renee Langford gave up her dreams to raise her younger brother after their mother's death. She paid his tuition, bought his first home, and built his future one invoice at a time. But when the same brothers secretly married, and his new wife called her pathetic, the woman who had always given decided to teach them what independence really costs. This isn't just a story about betrayal. It's about awakening. About what happens when a caretaker finally takes her power back, not with anger, but with precision. So before you judge her final choice, ask yourself, how much loyalty is too much when love turns into leverage? My wife doesn't want you at our wedding. She says you're embarrassing. That was the first sentence out of my brother's mouth when I asked why I hadn't received an invitation. My name is Renee Langford, 39 years old, and 15 years of my life had just been rewritten in a single breath. To understand why his words hit like a blade, you have to go back to the night our mother, Lorraine, was killed in a bus collision outside Birmingham, Alabama. He was 13. I was 22. I left college that same week, dropped everything. Waitressed double shifts, answered phones at an insurance office, and took freelance accounting gigs just to keep the lights on for us. When he graduated high school, I gifted him more than applause. I paid for his full degree in architecture, and when he finished, I surprised him with a $420,000 modern condo in Northport's design district, title still under my name. I even tucked away a $40,000 education travel fund so he could take that design residency in Barcelona he'd dreamed about since we were kids. Last weekend, while I was at a cafe scrolling through my phone, the betrayal hit me like an ambush. Right there, on my timeline, my brother Devin in a tuxedo, kissing a woman I'd met once at Thanksgiving. The caption under the photo read, "Best day of our lives. Married my forever." The ceramic cup slipped in my hand. Coffee splashed across the table. I called him. No answer. Tried again. Straight to voicemail. On the 7th try, a female voice finally came through, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. "What now?" she said. "Devin's busy. We just got home from the reception. I just saw the pictures. I managed." "You got married yesterday?" Silence. Then a chuckle. "Oh, it's you. Yes, we got married. And we didn't tell you, because I didn't want to hear your controlling energy at our ceremony. You've had your claws in him for too long. It's pathetic." I froze. "Excuse me? You've paid for everything to feel important," she continued. "But that ends now. He's his own man." In the background, I heard his voice, muffled, hesitant. "Renee, maybe don't." She raised hers. "No, she needs to hear it. Devin's tired of being your project. We're starting fresh." I swallowed hard. "That condo you're living in? The one with the downtown view? I'm the one paying every monthly bill. And that travel fund you're bragging about using for your honeymoon, that's money I saved for him. For years." Her laugh was light, cruel. "Please. Devin has sponsorships now. I just crossed 250,000 followers. We'll manage. Transfer the title whenever you want. We'll treat it as a wedding gift." Gift. That word cut deeper than insult. "After everything I've done, you both think I'm pathetic?" I said quietly. He finally spoke. "Renee, you've helped a lot, but it's time for you to stop managing my life. I'm 30. I can stand on my own." The call ended with a click. For a long moment, I stared at my phone, pulse pounding. Outside, the street buzzed with ordinary life. Horns, laughter, chatter. But inside, something in me had gone utterly still. If they thought I was pathetic for caring, then fine. They were about to find out what independence really cost. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard her voice calling me pathetic, echoing like static. By dawn, I was dressed, keys in hand, heading toward the Northport Design District where Devin's condo stood, the one I'd bought in cash before he even landed his first job. The drive blurred, lights, horns, the smell of rain. When I reached the building, the glass facade glowed against the morning haze. I took a slow breath and pressed the elevator button. Floor 7. Same one I'd once decorated with houseplants and framed art to make him feel like he'd made it. I knocked 3 times. The door opened halfway. Lena, his new wife, stood there in an oversized hoodie and silk bonnet, eyes narrowed. Her phone was already in her hand, camera tilted downward like she expected a fight. "What are you doing here?" "We're unpacking." "I need to speak with my brother," I said evenly. She smirked, didn't move aside. "You can say whatever you need to say right here. I'm his wife now." Devin appeared behind her, barefoot, still in the same white shirt from the wedding photos. "Renee, it's early," he muttered. "Let's talk later." "No," I said, my voice calm but sharp. "We talk now. Alone." Lena crossed her arms. "Not happening." I looked directly at him. "You let her call me pathetic. You said I control you. Explain that to my face." He shifted his weight. "It's not exactly like that. You've always done so much, but it makes me feel like I owe you everything. Like I can't move without you checking the map first. So, now providing stability is control?" I asked. "The mortgage on this condo, $410,000, is in my name. The travel fund? That's mine too. Even your car insurance, Devin." Lena tilted her head, smug. "We appreciate the help, truly. But Devin just landed an energy drink sponsorship worth 6 figures. My latest video hit 70,000 likes overnight. We'll refinance and pay you back. Eventually." Down the hall, a neighbor peeked out, phone raised to record. Another door cracked open, whispering. The humiliation spread like wildfire. Devin noticed and rubbed his temple. "See? This is what I mean. You showing up makes everything dramatic." "Dramatic," I said quietly. "You hit a marriage for me, then let your wife insult me. You owe me more than this." Lena scoffed. "He owes you nothing. You can leave now before this ends up online." I caught my reflection in the metallic elevator doors across the hall, face steady, eyes colder than I'd ever seen them. "Fine," I said at last. "You both want independence? Keep it." I turned away as the elevator dinged open. Behind me, I heard Lena whisper, "Finally." Downstairs, I sat in the driver's seat for a long time. The building loomed above me like a reminder of every sacrifice they'd already forgotten. If they wanted a world without my help, they were about to experience exactly that, a clean, legal, irreversible version of freedom. I started the engine and drove home, my mind already drafting the first step of detachment, erase every tie that kept them afloat. By the time I got home, the rage had cooled into calculation. My apartment felt like a command center, silent, spotless, and ready for a plan. I opened my laptop, created a new spreadsheet, and typed across the top. Exposure list, Langford Holdings. Column A, asset. Column B, value. Column C, legal owner. Line 1, Northport Design District Loft, $420,000. Owner, Renee Langford. Line 2, Barcelona Dream Fund, $40,000. Account owner, Renee Langford. Beneficiary, Devin Langford. Line 3, airline tickets, 2 seats, Barcelona to Atlanta, $9,200. Paid in full, my Amex. I added the small things, internet, homeowner's dues, car insurance, even the subscription bundle they'd been using for streaming. All of it under my name. The running total topped $465,000. I leaned back, folded my hands, and whispered to the quiet room. So much for pathetic. Next tab, action steps. Each item had 3 columns, cancellation method, required documentation, and estimated timeline. I color-coded by urgency. The condo was first. I dialed Monroe Harris, a real estate attorney I'd met at a local business mixer 2 years earlier. He answered, sounding half awake. "Renee? It's 10:30 at night. What's wrong?" "I need clarity," I said flatly. "Everything in this file is legally in my name, property deed, education account, travel bookings, insurance. Can I dissolve or liquidate them all without them challenging it?" He paused, rustling papers. If every document lists you as the owner or payer, then yes. Beneficiary rights don't equal control. The education account will hit a 10% federal penalty in taxes, but that's on you, not them. Real estate. Your title, your call. You can sell it tomorrow if you want. I exhaled slowly. Good. I'll send over the documents tonight. I scanned everything: mortgage statement, 529 statements, travel receipts, HOA bills, and attached them with a subject line: severance execution. 10 minutes later, his reply hit my inbox. All clear. Use these templates for closures, withdrawals, and property listings. Change passwords immediately. You're protected. I downloaded the forms, filled each line carefully, and signed with the same pen I'd used on his college loan paperwork. By midnight, my kitchen table was a battlefield of neatly stacked forms: withdrawals, cancellations, title transfers, all prepped. Then I brewed a cup of dark roast and opened my calculator again. The numbers told a story clearer than words ever could. Education account penalty, 10%, roughly $4,000. Refunds from travel and subscriptions, about $6,000. Net loss, less than $5,000. $5,000 to buy silence, closure, and freedom. Acceptable. As dawn crept through the blinds, I looked at the signature lines one last time. Every one bore my name, not his. When the bank opened, I'd start. Independence, I realized, doesn't always begin with courage. Sometimes it begins with paperwork. At 9 a.m., I walked into the Southern Federal Credit Union with a stack of signed papers and a thermos of black coffee. No hesitation. No second thoughts. By noon, every cord tying me to Devin and Lena had been snipped. First call, airline customer care. Reservation number, LNF 872. Cancel both tickets to Spain, I said. The rep tapped keys. Flexible fare. After fees, refund will be $6,300 back to the original card. Confirm it. Second call, Heritage Financial, where the education fund lived. I logged in as account owner, filled out the full distribution request, and clicked submit. Confirmation flashed. $40,000 withdrawal processed. 10% penalty applied. Net deposit $36,000 expected within 5 days. Third step, the condo. I rang Victor Hayes, the realtor who'd helped me buy it 4 years ago. Victor, list the Northport loft, I said. Aggressive pricing. Quick close. He whistled softly. That place? You serious? Market's hot right now. I can list at 4:30 and expect offers in a week. Do it. By afternoon, the photos were live. White walls, chrome fixtures, not a trace of their boxes left. Next, insurance, utilities, streaming accounts, rideshare plans. Every login changed. Every shared profile deleted. Power, water, and gas reverted to resident billing on file. If unpaid, they'd shut off automatically within 30 days. At 3 p.m., I sent one final text before blocking his number. You wanted freedom. You have it. All accounts in my name are closed. Do not contact me again. Then I opened my phone gallery, selected every image from his graduation onward, and pressed delete all. The quiet that followed felt strange, not empty, just still. That evening, offers started rolling in. 2 buyers, both cash. One offered $410,000, the other $425,000 with a 15-day close. I took the higher one. Inspection waived. Wire confirmed within a week. When closing day came, I signed electronically, watched the deposit hit my account, $398,000 net after fees. Profit, $28,000. Every tie was gone. The condo, the fund, the subscriptions, the dependents. 3 months later, I'd almost forgotten what his voice sounded like. Then one morning, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize. I almost let it go to voicemail, but curiosity won. Hello. Soft sniffles. Then a broken whisper. Renee, it's me. Devin. I froze in the doorway of my kitchen. How did you get this number? Borrowed a friend's phone, he said. Please don't hang up. Everything's falling apart. He sounded small, hollow. And for the first time, I realized just how much he'd relied on me to survive, and how completely I'd vanished from his safety net. Everything's gone, Devin said. His voice cracked on the word gone. Lena left. The brand deals fell through. The condo's empty. I don't even have a car anymore. I leaned against the wall, letting him talk. The air between us felt heavy, not with anger, but with distance earned. The sponsors wanted 5 viral videos a week, he continued. The first one hit 15,000 views. Then nothing. They pulled the contract and asked for the advance back. Credit cards are maxed out. 18 grand in debt. She said she was tired of carrying me, that I was. His voice faltered. She packed her things and left with her manager. Silence stretched. When I spoke, my voice was steady. You told me you didn't need my help anymore. I know. I was wrong. He swallowed hard. Please, just a place to crash. The couch, a few weeks. I'll get back on my feet. No, I said. You made a choice. Choices come with rent. But you're all I've got, Renee. And you had me for 15 years straight, I replied softly. I gave you a roof, a degree, and freedom. What you do with it now is on you. He cried, real, raw tears, and for a second, the sister in me almost cracked. Almost. I can't fix what you refuse to value, I said finally. You wanted independence. Live it. I hung up before I could feel anything else. Blocked the number. When I turned around, sunlight pooled across my hardwood floor, quiet, golden, undemanding. For the first time in years, I didn't feel responsible for anyone but myself. 6 months later, the Northport loft had long been sold, the final wire settled. My bank account balance had never looked cleaner. I'd moved into a smaller condo, 1 bedroom, corner view, enough space for plants, music, and peace. I spent weekends volunteering at the animal shelter downtown, joined a cycling club, started reading again. My promotion came through regional finance director, a title I'd once dreamed about but never prioritized. I celebrated with a solo trip to Asheville, booked a mountain cabin, and watched the sunrise from the deck, mug in hand. No phone calls. No apologies. No noise. Occasionally, mutual friends would mention seeing Devin, jobless, couch hopping, his ex's social media wiped clean of every wedding post. They'd ask if I felt sorry for him. I feel nothing, I'd answer truthfully. But I do hope he finally learned something I had to learn the hard way, that boundaries aren't cruelty. They're protection. Some endings don't come with explosions, just quiet signatures, closed doors, and the steady sound of someone finally choosing themselves. Renee didn't win by fighting harder. She won by stopping the rescue. Because sometimes, peace looks like letting the bridge burn, and watching your own light reflect off the ashes. Family doesn't always mean forever. But freedom? Freedom is earned, line by line, decision by decision. If this story hit something real in you, if you've ever poured everything into someone who called your care control, remember, walking away isn't weakness. It's the start of your next chapter. What would you have done if you were Renee? Would you forgive? Or would you finish the separation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. Share this story with someone who needs to remember their power. Red heart follow for more stories about quiet strength, boundaries, and the kind of revenge that looks like peace.